Okay, so our mission for today is we went yesterday and bought a porta power to try to push this fender apron back into place. That should do the job. We just have to go and start removing some of the stuff again. Like we have to take this fuse box out, which all this has to come out anyways when we get the new harness. The problem is trying to be able to push this in here and have it wedged in here somehow without messing up the motor. Okay, so now I'm being very careful. I kind of got it wedged in here on the engine block. It's on here in this plastic a little bit, but I was just doing a very little test to see if it'll work, and this actually was already budging, so I think we're going to be okay there. That's really strong. I don't really want to do it there, but I really don't have a choice. I'm being very careful, so we're going to pump it. I don't know if you can even tell, but it's actually moving. There we go. It's right in there. See, now this is where, now this hole is lining up even better. Wow, this tool's amazing. And you see, that's all it took right there. About a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Now the hole's perfect. Now we just have to get this bent up this way, so we're probably gonna go take this off so we can sit on the ground and push this straight up right there to get this to sit back flat. But the hole's lining up now. There's a bunch of glass and stuff in here from the windshield, so we're cleaning this up just to give it a cleaner working surface. Okay, so we're in here. We got the seats out to make it a little easier to work in here. Finally got the center console out. Just got that out right now. It all started with having to get the radio bezel out. You had to pop all these little plastic pieces off the middle and expose some clips, a few screws. There's like a couple bolts, a few screws, and there's like 4 7mm on each side, and we were able to pull that out. As you can see, down here is some bolts on the side, some bolts on the side over there. Probably have to drop this. Just everywhere. It's just kind of got to find them, but making progress. Center console wasn't that bad at all. I mean, it took a minute, but it wasn't bad. So, gonna keep getting to work. The whole thing's gonna be out. Well, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. You see this? It's a dash coming out. I honestly can't believe it was this easy. I'm not saying it was easy, but it's definitely not hard at all. The hardest part is probably taking out the center console. Other than that, there's 2 bolts here, a bolt there, 2 bolts there, the bolts on the side, another 2 bolts over there, and that's it. Now it's coming out. I just have to undo these plugs from the back. Like, honestly, that was I mean, I might have an hour and a half into this. This isn't hey, I'm happy. So with the dash like this, we can kind of reach what we need to reach back here, but I'm gonna go and pull it out of the way, at least move it to the back something, probably just pull it out so it's out of the way. And the reason being, having to do this in the first place, if I can get the camera in here, is all these plugs. There's actually plugs behind this little thing right here that we have to undo, and there's just really no way to do that. It's really hard, so I ended up pulling this out just to do it, make it easier. And then now all those fuses are real accessible right here, so we can just go and check every single one of these fuses also dashes out. We have it sitting over here for now in the back. Now I heard there's a sensor in here right there that actually tend to go bad in these cars, I heard. So I might end up replacing that. I heard it's only like $20 just because the dash is out. Might as well replace that with something new. Just have to figure out what it's called and stuff. And Let me actually go look at this close up. There's a plug right there, I think, that runs into the firewall. And then some of these other plugs right here, which was like almost impossible to get to. Mostly this plug in the back. Now this is out, I can see what's going on. So when we go to the junkyard, you know, I can figure out the easiest way to do it in here and then go there and do it. So, perfect. You know, this is where the problem, why I ended up pulling the dash, because when I was at the junkyard last time, actually trying to pull the other harness, all these wires run out through the firewall, and then go all, like they go to the sensor up here. And with the dash here, man, it's like impossible to get, and I think it goes to all this right here. So imagine trying to undo all these plugs with a big dash in the way, steering wheel, and it just wasn't happening. So let's get this thing out. Finally got the windshield out. Set it back here for now until I figure out what we got to do with it. Well, it was already broken, so it wasn't too bad to get out. It was still a pain, of course, but yeah. Finally get the new one installed. We just have to go along with the razor now and cut all this down. Some of this is already really low, but like spots like this are still high, so you have to go all the way around, clean it up, and lay down the new urethane. So we have a new windshield here. We have to clean this one up, so we're going along with the razor right now. Take up all this old urethane. Same thing with this. Clean this all up, then we gotta go through it with the primer. Urethane primer is what this is called. Or pinch hole primer, same thing. And go around the edge. We have to make sure it's really, really clean. We got a urethane in there, so let's go ahead and get this cleaned. Let's try to get this done before it starts raining. So, get to it. Okay, so we got it all cleaned up. About ready to throw some of the pinch hole primer on it. We got a real skinny layer left, pretty much nothing there. Just kind of like a guide to where to put the new coat on, the new bead. You see all these little nicks here with the razor, and that's exactly what it's for. Keep it from rusting. And right here, this is actually where, from the method we use with the string, that did that. So we have to make sure we take care of that real good. That's only, like, that's the worst spot on here. Other than that, there's a few nicks like that. So about ready for that. And then we got this all cleaned up too. It's nothing there. So we got this cleaned up. New window in, already putting it to the testament. As soon as we're setting this window up in there, start pouring. Stuff's all over my hands, terrible. What is in there? What's in there? Let's get this thing covered so we can drive it. Got the LKQ in Tampa. Found a car. This one's pretty wrecked, but we were able to pull the harness out. This thing probably took about almost 4 hours to get. I made it so hard because it's so crunched in some of the areas. So we are gonna have to fix this harness, but it should be easy fixes. It shouldn't be anything like big plugs I have to worry about. So we got a new harness. Let's get back to the house. Make time to put this one in. Not trying to bore you too much with the harness talk. I've been talking about the harness for all these videos. But we got the new one in. CPU plugged up, we got it ran through, ramen in. Ran through, all the plugs are in. Real nice, just how they're supposed to be. So now we're gonna go slap the dash in, get that in, and then we will continue to do what we have to do. Now this one, there's a few things we had to fix on here. That should be really easy just because the one that came off was obviously wrecked. So there's a few plugs missing, but other than that, just come back at you when we're done so we don't bore you too much.
What's going on, guys? Back another day. We got the harness in, we got the dash back in, we've repaired the harness.
A few more plugs than we needed to, but repaired everything we needed to, all these little harnesses. So That's fixed. The dash is back in. Still have to put you know, a lot of little parts back together. But great news is that there's no more dashes on the dash like there was before. Let me see. I don't have this plugged in yet, so I can't turn that off. But anyways, there used to be dashes down here, and what that meant was that this wasn't communicating with the PCM. Now with the new harness that we just installed, it's communicating. And now also, before, my OBD reader wasn't reading, and it is now. So order this key fob offline, and I have a locksmith right now come in to cut it and program it, and then hopefully be able to start the car. So he says he's gonna be about 2 to 3 hours. I got a bunch of little stuff I got to do still, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Probably take this back off real quick, just loosen up a couple bolts so we can put a couple grommets in down there that the radiator and everything sit on. Make sure everything's lined up. Probably gonna be able to get our headlights in today. There's one more harness back here that I have to fix right here that goes into the O2 sensor down there and the catalytic converter. But yeah, we're gonna get everything lined up. Hopefully maybe put the crash bar on. We got coolant to put in. We got a bunch of little stuff, man. It's gonna come together today. It's gonna be a big change, and hopefully this thing can get running. So let's get to it, and I'll take you guys back when the locksmith gets here. So we got the battery on the charge. We're gonna throw some coolant in here. So if the car doesn't get started while he's here, at least it'll be something in here start circulating. The engine, the oil's already drained from here. I just have to replace the filter and put the new oil in, which I got all that. So we'll probably do that next. We got that. Just have some pressed stone. Should be perfectly fine. And our distilled water. Obviously 50-50 mix. We got a little measuring cup just so we can, 1 cup of that, 1 cup of this, 1 cup of that, until this gets filled up, and then it won't be able to circulate until the car can turn on. But at least get that filled up for now. So, all right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have our new oil filter up here. We got our old one. Like I said, the oil was already drained, so now we just have to put oil in it. But I put coolant in it, and yeah, we have a leak somewhere. But see, the car's jacked up over here, so hopefully it's just coming from this hose right here and is running all the way down here. I can't tell. I might have to pull the radiator support off to actually see. It could be coming from the radiator itself. I can't see. It's tripping on my face right now, so that is not good. This was a used radiator, I gotta remember that. So I mean, it came off a car that wasn't wrecked in the front, so I don't know why it would be dripping, but you never know. Hopefully it's just something needs to be tightened or a hose or something. If not, we're gonna have to replace the radiator, which really sucks. This is all gonna have to come back apart. So I'm gonna finish up with the oil, and then we'll go ahead and move on to this. It just keeps dripping on my face. This is getting annoying. So yeah. So now that we got it leveled and the radiator support's off, we can actually see that there must be clearly a drip back behind here, between the fan and the radiator. You look at the hose, it's not dripping from the hose. I was hoping that it was probably dripping from the hose I run it over, but yeah, that's not the case. So what we're gonna do is try to get up here and drain the fluid out into like a water jug or something, so we don't have to waste that fluid. And we're gonna have to order a new radiator, which I wanted to do anyways, but I said, hey, I don't think there's gonna be anything wrong with this one, of course, which kind of makes you just want to order a condenser while we're at it, just so we don't have no problems with that. So at least they're not too expensive, but it kind of sucks as already. You know, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not even gonna mess with anything here. We'll keep the oil pan into there and just let it keep dripping in there, just so if he comes and gets the car started, we'll at least have the fluid in there, or we'll at least run through the system. Even though it's gonna drip out, we'll at least be in there for now, and then after the car's running, I'm gonna see what it, you know, we'll remove if there's anything left. I'm not even worried about it. It was like half a bottle. It's not a big deal. We'll replace it. So we're gonna throw the radiator support back on there just so we can have the hood latch. The locksmith here. Hopefully he does what he does and works his magic and get this thing started. So I'll report back. Right now he's cutting the key. So guys, that's it for this video for right now. I'm not really sure what the next step is. The locksmith came, programmed the key. The anti-theft light is out. Everything works in the car, sunroof, all the interior, everything. You can hear the fuel pump kicking on, but the car still won't start. So I'm thinking it might be a bad computer. I don't want to give up. I don't want to keep putting money in this thing though, but I'm so far, it's like you're kind of stuck in the middle. I just want to get this thing started. So it's hard to get anything done. It won't stop raining. It's been raining nonstop. Everywhere's flooded in the city, but it's gonna be probably a while until we even start doing anything else. We're just gonna continue what we're doing. We're gonna go and paint it, put it all back together in the front, make it look like a car, and then just slowly try to get it to start. Hopefully I don't have to take it to a dealership or something. We'll eventually get it started. I'm not gonna put too much more time into it right now. I got other stuff I've been busy with. We'll get the car looking like a car, and we'll get a new computer, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. If not, then I have no idea where we go from there. But I appreciate you guys watching. I try to get this car knocked out quicker than what I want, but it ain't happening. I keep running into problems, but the whole interior is put back together. I just have to paint and assemble the front, and that's it for that until we get it started and it's done. So I appreciate you guys. See you next time.